Alright, today we're going to show you how to install the driving light kit for 2004 and 2003 Harley Davidson Road King Classics and 1 Anniversary Edition. It's on Amazon for $112, so really cheap. Everybody can afford it, and they're amazing. So check it out. I'll turn them on for you. There you go. Nice and bright. And I'll show you install and removal. Hang out and check it out. Alright, here's our new test bike. This is a 2003 Harley Davidson Road King Classic Anniversary Edition. Really nice condition. We're going to remove these headlights, stock from Harley, and put in the Sunpies, the ones I got on Amazon. I'm going to show you from start to finish. Super easy. So check it out and watch. First, you got the removal. It's real easy. You got little Phillips screws under each light, and they have a little nut on the end, so be careful, don't lose that nut. So, get in there, undo all the nuts and screws and nuts, and take the bezels off. Real simple. To get out one of the side driving lights, just remove both of the electrical connections. You got a ground and a power. You'll see the ground goes right to the back of the light housing. The power wire goes right down through the tubes. So make sure this is the power. The ground is connected right to the back of the light. So we're going to snip these wires as close to the edge as possible. Then we're going to reconnect them to the new wires, and we'll use the little wire connectors, and make sure you get those on nice and tight. Strip those babies right off. My buddy Paul, he's a professional. Very easy. So snip those off, get those nice and tight, and then we'll go to the next step.
Yeah, I've had that son of a bitch for a long time.
We're going to crimp these wires off. Make sure you get them nice and tight. Check all the connections before you install. So we got these little adapter plugs here. These things here. So I'll leave the adapter on. This way, if you ever have to change the bulb in the future, real easy, just plug and play. So let's get these all connected, and then I'll show you how to plug them up to the lights.
Ground it.
Alright, next we're going to crimp them on to the existing wires, the ones that are inside the housing. So make sure the ground is real tight. Of course, that's the one into the back of the housing there. Then we're going to do the positive wire. Crimp that all together. Then when you're done crimping, pull everything, tug it, make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, so inside the stock Harley lights, we're going to take that light apart from the bezel. Inside there's a rubber foam gasket. Make sure you don't rip that, because we have to reuse it for the new light. So we're going to take this apart. There's the back of the light, and inside there's a rubber gasket. Just spread it apart, pop it out. And see, inside there's a rubber gasket. We got to make sure to leave that in there, because we have to reuse that with the new light. Here's our new light. That's the 4.5-inch driving light, the Sunpie. Real nice. LED, real bright. Awesome at night, man. It's like the day makers from Harley, but they're like $1 million cheaper. They work just as good. So we're going to snug that up in there. Then we'll go to the next step.
Get your dot to the top.
You'll see on the front of the light it says DOT, Department of Transportation. It means they're legal. So you want that up at the top, all right? Make sure that's at the top of the light when you install the light into the bike. Alright, we got the light set up in the bezel. Now we're going to plug it in, right? The plug works both ways, so remember, keep the red to the red and the black to the black. Because we did the last one, we did it backwards, light wouldn't work, so we just had to take it apart and change it. So clip that in real nice and tight, red side to the red, black to the black, and then we're going to install the light. Install the light into the housing. Real easy. Then we're going to make it in snug. We're going to lock that screw and nut back on there and get her centered and make it look right. Alright, so we got the first driving light in there. Looks real nice. Everything's centered. Looks perfect. Now we're going to do the other side. I don't have to show you the other side, but we'll do the other side the same way. And then we're done. We're going to show you the main center light. Alright, the two driving lights are done. All screwed in. Don't screw the screws too tight. Just make them really snug, because you don't want to damage anything. So make them snug until turned. Take the bezel off for the main headlight. There's two main screws that we have to take out. One's on the top, one's on the side. We'll get those. There's a bottom screw here first. Get out the second bezel. Little chrome ring that goes over the light. There's only one screw that holds that together. That just fell on the floor. Very cool. Then there's just two screws to get this out. There'll be one up on the top and one on the side. And there's a spring on the bottom right. And then we'll move on from there. Alright, we got all the screws out from the main headlight. Little spring on the bottom right. Just got to take that off. A little spring in there. You can just snip it off. We won't be needing it anymore. Headlights out, and all it is a 3-prong plug. Just pull it out, and then we'll go from there.
Keep the screws.
Yeah, of course. Tell that on the next line.
You know, I Googled this last night. You're right. I didn't see anything in there
About taking that off?
about putting what are these called?
Sunpie.
Sunpies in YouTube.
Still weird. Right here, it's like...
Well, it might be a little tweaked because this thing got laid over once. That might be too. I don't know.
It's on there. Everything's right.
No, I think you're good.
You can't tell unless you're looking at it sideways. Oh, let me... Here. Oh. Alright, we took out that piece. Now, looks like a bunch of spaghetti wires, but it's all good, man. You can clean everything down if you like since it's open, so wipe everything down before you continue. Alright, so here's the main headlight. We're going to take it apart. There's 3 screws with a little bezel on the front, so I'm going to take the 3 screws out. These little screws. 3 screws going all around. Right here. Right here, and one more. And that's like a little clip that has 3 little screws on it. Let's remove those. Okay, on second part, you don't have to take those screws off at all. So the plug's very simple. It's a 3-prong plug. Actually, plug and play right into the Harley plug. We'll get that installed there.
Nope.
All right.
Seated all the way.
Got that snug together.
Okay.
Plug and play. Then we're going to put the light fixture back in the housing. And then we're going to replace those 8 screws. Now, the screws are pretty small, so we might need a washer, but make sure they're stainless steel so they don't rust. And also make sure the DOT sign is up top, lined up with that little piece right there on the top. Alright, so we'll just put the light fixture in. We got 8 screws to put in all the way around. Again, make sure you use a washer because the screws are pretty small, right? And they might go through, but make sure you use stainless steel. And make sure the big light is on the bottom, the little one up top, and the DOT is up top. So hard to see the DOT, but it's right there. Alright, so we got our screws all in there with our washers. Snug them tight, but not too tight, okay? Because you're screwing into a rubber grommet. So make sure they're real snug, but don't over tighten them. Alright, and then we'll go from there. Okay, after you snug down the headlight with the 8 screws, we're going to put the first bezel back on. There's just one screw that goes in the bottom. It's a little hard to line up, but we'll get it all set up. Screws right into the bottom right there.
Let me make sure I get it in there right before you...
A little spring piece goes up on top. It's right here, so it'll lock into this little slot right there. Alright, we got the first bezel on. Little screw underneath. Might need a little bigger screw than what came with the Harley because its hole's a little bit bigger. So nobody likes bigger holes. Put on the main cover. Get that on nice and snug. And then we'll put the screw and nut back in on the bottom. Make sure everything's lined up. Again, DOT up top. The big beam on the bottom. That's your brights. And we'll tighten that thing up. And we'll be in business. Alright. And that's Mr. Paul. He's the mechanic here, and I'm Greg. I'm just pretty much watching. I helped out a little bit, but we're almost finished here. All right, everything's all complete here. We got our Sunpie Harley Davidson lights on. They're freaking amazing. Turn them on. They are, trust me, they are so bright at night, even in the day. More people will see you. Safer. Again, $112 on Amazon. I mean, how can you go wrong? Go to Harley Davidson, and a little bit more expensive, but hey, maybe the quality's better, but for the price, you can't be beat. Thanks for watching the video, and have a great day.